So whether you're sending out regular email newsletters or you're just getting started with sending your first email campaigns, I want to talk to you about open rates, because it's one thing actually getting subscribers on your list in the first place, but actually getting them to open your emails is pretty difficult. So I'm going to be sharing with you 10 of my best tips for getting your emails opened. So hello, if you're new here, my name is Anna. I am a website designer and online educator over at By Rosanna, and I share lots of marketing, business and productivity related content here on YouTube. So if you like that kind of stuff, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. So what actually is an open rate? You'll see it in your email marketing software. It is literally just the percentage of people who have actually opened your email in comparison to how many people you actually sent it to in the first place. You'll usually see this percentage alongside a click rate, which just tells you what percentage of people actually clicked a link in your email as well. So your open rate is usually a lot higher than your click-through rate. It's kind of like a funnel. But when it comes to knowing what is a good open rate and what is a bad open rate, there really is no golden magic number with it. It totally depends on what industry you're in. It also really depends on the quality of your list, because if you've got subscribers on your email list who really aren't actually that interested in what you have to offer, or if you've got an email list full of kind of spammy people who aren't really real, potentially if you maybe bought a list at some point, then that's going to have a really big effect on your open rate as well. So definitely go and have a little bit of a Google and see what the average open rates you can expect for your industry are. But in general, a very, very rough guideline would be average open rates looking between 18% and around 35% on average. And that is a very, very rough guide. And again, do check your own industry averages. Typically, if your open rate is less than 18%, it could use some improvement. And if it's over 40%, well, that is actually pretty good. It doesn't sound like a lot. That still means well over half of your audience aren't receiving your content or aren't looking at it. But on average, over 40% is actually really good for what you can expect. So how can we improve our email open rates? The first thing is to make sure that you're being really consistent with when you're actually sending out your email newsletters. It doesn't matter if you send it out once a day, once a week, once a month. It's just important that you actually stick to a set schedule. Otherwise, if you disappear for a month or you just are really sporadic with how you send out your email newsletters, your audience is going to get a little bit confused and maybe a bit irritated, and they might forget why they signed up to you in the first place and might end up deleting your emails rather than ever opening them. My second tip is to regularly cleanse your list. This is really important and something that I've talked about here on YouTube in a separate video, which I will link to. But basically every few months you really want to be deleting subscribers off your email list who are no longer interacting with your emails. If you want to find out why that's important, go ahead and check out my other video, and also it will show you how to do it as well. So because so many of us now tend to look at our emails on our mobile devices, you'll notice that on an email app you have less space to read the email subject line, and so what you really want to be doing is trying out short and very snappy subject lines. There are of course exceptions to the rule, but typically shorter subject lines do perform better, so just try and be concise when you are writing these out. You also really want to be avoiding spammy words, because this could trigger off people's spam filters. This means your email might get hidden away in the promotions folder with kind of email marketing type newsletters instead of going into their actual proper inbox, or it could put you in their spam folder, which is really bad because people generally don't ever check that at all. To avoid this, you really want to be avoiding words like free or sale or buy now, because these will typically set off different levels of spam filters. Instead, you can get creative with phrasing things in different ways, such as saying 12 hours left or don't miss out if you're trying to hint at there being urgency or a sale. You also really want to try and inspire action with the verbs that you use in your email. So rather than saying something like get this or do this, use words like claim or grab or create. They're much more evocative and therefore are much more likely to get opened. Tip number 6 is to actually ask questions and speak as if you're speaking to your subscribers in your subject line. It feels more personal if you're saying you, or you're talking about yourself in the first person like I. And when you ask direct questions, it really looks like it could just be a normal email in your inbox and not a promotion. Things like, would you drop everything to do X? Is a question. Or how's your writing going? See how that's a question, and I also used the word your. You can also try being a bit mysterious and try and pique curiosity. Some of the best performing email subject lines are typically ones that might initially look a bit odd or confusing, or they're extremely vague and non-specific, so it makes the person reading it want to find out more. It's going to encourage them to actually open the email to find out what on earth you're talking about. Tip number 8 is to not forget the email preview text. This is the little snippet of text that appears underneath the subject line, either on your email inbox on your desktop or on your phone. You see a few less words on your phone, but it's still there and it's still really good email real estate for you to give extra context to your subject line or to create more mystery. For example, if your subject line was, "Here's your invite, ... you could have your preview text as being, "You don't want to miss this exclusive class, available only for VIPs." So it's giving more context, and it's also kind of hyping up, okay, you really need to open this email and find out what I'm talking about. Tip number 9 is to resend your emails to unopens. Most email marketing softwares will give you this feature. Basically allows you to resend your emails to people who didn't open the email the first time around after a certain period of time. I'd recommend only really doing this for your best emails and the content you really don't want people to miss, because it can become irritating if you keep doing it. And you also want to give people a reasonable amount of time to actually have a chance to open the first email. So I'd usually only do this after about 2 or 3 days. And then finally, tip number 10 is to keep track of your subject lines that you use and their open rates that they actually get. I do have a Google Sheets template that you can get for free. I will link it below in the description. And tracking these over time can just show you what kind of headlines that your audience actually reacts to and performs well with your subscribers, because everyone's list is different, everyone's audience is different, and so their preferences are going to be different as well. I hope you found these tips helpful, and if you do want to learn more about email marketing, I have an online course called Email Marketing with Flodesk, which teaches you how to start, grow and nurture an email list from scratch using Flodesk. We go through everything from the GDPR legal side of sending emails, getting yourself set up on Flodesk, organizing your subscribers, how to grow an email list, email content and headlines, analytics, and how to set up automated sequences and workflows as well. So everything that you would need to know about email marketing is covered in there. I'll leave the link below in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back again next week with another video.